Now we have an edition of Asked and Answered, which is where we answer some of our viewer mail. If you want to email me, you can do it now. It's Megyn, M-E-G-Y-N, at megynkelly.com. And we will go through them every week, as we always do, and pull a few to address on the air. And we will read your emails privately. So that always happens. Only a few get selected. Steve Krakauer is here in the Red Studio with me today.
That's right. Yeah, it's good to be here.
This is our executive producer. You usually, sometimes he comes on, but you never get to see like the actual man sitting here.
And they're normally in Texas. But,
I know. Welcome.
Got out for a little bit. Yeah.
Great to have you here in the Northeast.
It's good to be here. I know we're talking election, getting ready for election night. So, so getting all that, getting that ready. It's going to be.
People don't know there's a whole other side of the studio over there, which we will be showing you on election night, and we're using lots of different places here for our coverage.
It's going to be big. It's going to be a big night. Yeah.
All right. So what do we have?
Well, that actually kind of dovetails with the first question here. This is from Matthew, who wants to know that they say Kamala Harris is not coming on this show. Probably not. We made the request, I should say. But if she did, what would be one question you would want to ask her?
What is a woman? I mean, I asked, or can a woman become a man? What I asked Trump. Let's see how she does. Can you imagine if I asked her that? Can a woman become a man? She would be so uncomfortable. That's why she will never come.
No. It would be about dreams and aspirations.
I'd really also like to ask her, you say that you proposed a border bill from day one of your administration. If you really wanted to crack down on the border, why did you reverse remain in Mexico? All of the asylum policies. I'd go through those executive orders that we've been reading on this show. Can you imagine?
Right.
I'd love to hear her answer that question.
It's like asking the border question in a way that actually gets an answer.
Yes.
Than what 60 Minutes did.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. This is from Elizabeth. It's kind of a personal one. She says she's a 24-year-old graduate student at a university that claims to be Christian. It's interesting. In her classes, she's being instructed on how to support trans students, taking tests on how she can advocate for them. She wants to be a school psychologist, but she's feeling discouraged. What do you think? Should she continue in this career, or what should she do?
That is very tough because that industry has been captured by woke leftists, from the American Psychiatry Association to the American Academy of Pediatrics. And the standard in that industry is to affirm. And you actually could lose your license potentially if you don't do what they want you to do. In some states, it's considered conversion therapy. So I think I would be really sure what the regulations were in my chosen state. I'd probably stay to red states where you are allowed to explore issues thoughtfully and like with love, as opposed to just, no, you can only affirm, and find out whether you could potentially lose your license over that. Because how could you do it if you can't do it honestly? If you can't actually help these kids, how could you become part of that machine? It doesn't sound like you could live with that, and I don't blame you. You shouldn't live with that. So if that doesn't work out, you could always we've had a couple of people on this show, like Miriam Grossman, who have an outside counseling business for families and kids. And she's now gotten very bold about being a resource for families who want honest counseling in these situations. You could go that lane. And actually, you should connect with her. I think we actually have a contact for her.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hook her up.
Yeah. Elizabeth, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned
Elizabeth.
her name.
Maybe we can hook Elizabeth up so she can ask somebody who's already doing this kind of work on what the lanes available to her are. Elizabeth, we're going to do that for you.
Excellent. All right, last one. This is from Hallie. And she wants to know, you've spoken about your friendships over the years. She wants to know if you keep in touch with friends from high school, college, law school, and from which period of your life are your closest friends?
That's so sweet. They're spread out a bit. So my closest friend in high school and for middle school, for just a long period of my adolescence, was Kelly McGinnis. I've mentioned her on the show many times. Right. It was Megyn Kelly McGinnis. We were frickin' frack. We dressed alike. We did everything together. We were inseparable. And she and I are still in touch. She's great. She still lives near my hometown. And then in college, I really kind of was with my boyfriend most of the time. I wound up deactivating from my sorority because I was just so into my boyfriend, who was a lacrosse player and couldn't go to any of the fraternity things or the mixers in the Greek system that I was supposed to go to. And he and I were just absolutely mad for one another. And so he was the main figure of that period for me. And no, we are no longer in touch. It didn't end badly. It actually ended really sweetly, but I wrote about it in my book. You can read it there. He's the one ex of mine that Doug really likes. You know, like
Interesting.
when
You
Doug
talked
hears
about
the
him
stories.
on, Sean Ryan also, right? I think I remember
Did I?
that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lacrosse player and the lesson about how, he was the one who was practicing and the other team was watching them. Yeah.
He just gave me such self-confidence in a way I didn't have before. He looked at me so differently. He taught me how to look at myself differently. And I have nothing but affection for this guy. I think his life ran into some serious trouble after we broke up. Not because we broke up, but just later. And we were in touch maybe once 10 years after that, just by phone. But still, I've got a soft spot for the guy and I wish him well. So that's kind of why I don't have a ton of college friends that I'm still in touch with. But my closest law school friend, Donna, you know Donna.
Yeah.
How do we know Donna?
Donna's a regular listener and viewer. I guess listener probably, right? She listens live.
She listens live on the SiriusXM app. She literally never misses a show.
No.
She's taken in every minute of content we've ever done. And right after the show, she gives me her thoughts. Like today, we're taping this on, is today Wednesday?
See if Donna approves.
Let's see what she texted me. Every day she gives me one. She said, LOL, re Kamala doing her Harry Belafonte imitation. Have you no empathy, man? And she went on from there. But I love my Donna reviews. If she doesn't like the show, she'll tell me that too. But this woman is so smart. She was a vice president at one of these big investment banks before she even got to law school. She was already so accomplished. And I was like, oh my God, this seems amazing. She already had a kid. She had a second kid in law school. And she still graduated at the top of our class on time. She was always a gunner. She went on to have a brilliant legal career. And now she's also back in my hometown. And we're in daily touch. I mean, we text about the show, blah, blah, blah. So in terms of my past life, she's definitely my closest friend. And then, now it's basically all the people I knew in New York and the people I'm meeting here in Connecticut. I'm already developing some great friendships out here. And it's great. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest at if I had a huge party to celebrate a birthday, you wouldn't see 15 people from this era and 15 people. I'm not like that. Life's too busy. But I have a couple who are really important to me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, keep the questions coming. MegynKelly.com.
That's right. And when you go to you should go to MegynKelly.com and just type in your email. We don't sell the emails. We don't do any of that nonsense, and we don't barrage you. On Fridays, we send you one email. It's just we call it the American News Minute because in 60 seconds or less, we'll give you all the news you need to know from the week, and we'll give you some highlights from the show, some fun updates, behind-the-scenes stuff, and always the Strudwick File remains the most clicked on item on the newsletter. It's amazing. There's a lot at stake in this upcoming election. But regardless of who is sitting in the White House, the fuse on the economy has already been lit. Even 4 years of a conservative presidency will not be enough to turn the tide on our $35 trillion national debt. And if the left wins, it will be like throwing gas on a dumpster fire. What can you do? Well, you do have options. You could protect your savings by diversifying into gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. Gold has stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, and global strife, and it could protect you right now. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or a 401k into an IRA in physical gold, tax-free and penalty-free, and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of pocket. In the past 4 years, the buying power of the U.S. dollar has declined, while the price of gold has increased 40%. Coincidence? Text the letters MK to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold and trust Birch Gold Group to protect your savings. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.